Promotional consideration paid for by the Comic Corps. Welcome to Drew Manchu's Comic Book Reviews. I'm your host, Drew Manchu. Today we are going to be taking a look at Paper Girls number 30. This is the final installment in the Paper Girls saga, the last book, if you will. But before we can delve into that, I want to go ahead and look at the series as a whole. If you're not familiar with Paper Girls, it's a science fiction adventure book written by Brian K. Vaughn of Y the Last Man and Saga fame, and it's drawn by Cliff Chiang. All the issues are done by that team. Adds a real nice cohesiveness to the entire project, one singular vision, and Matt Wilson deserves a shout out as well. He does the colors in this book, and if you can see by any of the photos that I'm putting up, these colors are absolutely phenomenal. It's a science fiction adventure story about four girls, 12-year-old girls who are paper girls. They deliver newspapers in the 1980s. This is something that may be a foreign concept to kids these days, but we used to get our news via print media, and it used to be thrown on your driveway by a young child in the early hours of the morning. It's just kind of strange that that's the way things were done, but that is the truth. Ask your parents. These four girls, Erin, KJ, Mac, and Tiffany, all set out on Halloween night. The trick-or-treating is over. Everyone has gone to bed except for the scum of the neighborhood, and these girls must band together to deliver papers the morning after Halloween. They're avoiding high school bullies and all kinds of nonsense, and along the way they fall into a time kerfuffle with some time travelers, and they embroil themselves in the War of the Ages, which is a war between the teenagers, which are not actually just teenagers, but a group of people, and the old-timers, which are the time bosses of the future. This is a really cool story, and it really unfolds in a lot of different ways that it's very mysterious the way the layers of this onion are peeled back, and I enjoyed it a whole lot. Issue 30 is really the best thing you can ask for a happy ending for this book. You're talking about a story with girls who are seeing future versions of themselves, alternate versions of themselves, and learning something along the way. A lot of great action, a lot of really cool characters, and a lot of great different scenes as we hop from the far-flung future to the past and back and forth throughout this story. One of my favorite things about issue 30 and the way that Brian K. Vaughan handles these characters as a whole throughout this story is really their level of interaction with each other. They all start off as very much two-dimensional characters, and issue 30 sees us going back to that first issue and reliving things in an alternate manner where these girls do not go on this adventure through time. And they started out as very two-dimensional characters. They all were fleshed out in different ways throughout the series, and the way that he brings them back to being these two-dimensional characters really allows you to see them in a different light. We've grown with these characters. We've learned about their motivations and their hopes and dreams along the way, their fears, and now we see them back in the setting of the original first issue, and it gives you a different view on these characters altogether. I really enjoyed that. There are a couple different twists and turns in this final issue that make it kind of a relaxing romp through this Hell Night paper delivery route. The girls all seem to decide that they're going to remain friends and maybe do this again next year. One of the girls decides that she's going to retire from the paper route, so we'll see how that goes. Well, we won't, because this is over. This is the end of that story. But I thought that was a nice little twist. The way these characters look at each other, you knowing what's in their heads, but them not knowing what's in their heads. It's kind of a really cool way to end this book, and really poetic. The art is phenomenal throughout this book. throughout the entire series. Really nice line work by Cliff Chiang. Matt Wilson's colors pop on every page. He has a fine way of making things kind of monochromatic in a way, but it all really works together. The design is flawless, and this story is really great. I think it's a more accessible story than Saga or Why the Last Man. I think this is probably one of my favorite Brian K. Vaughan books. But, judge it for yourself. I think that at 30 issues, if you want to pick up the floppies on this is a very easy thing to do. The trade paperbacks are readily available. Go to your LCS and order them. You can find them probably at Barnes & Noble as well if you don't have an LCS around, or maybe the paperback area in your local Target might have them. I know mine has a few trades here and there. Check it out, man. This is a story worth reading. It grows along with you along the way. There's giant mechs, there's dinosaurs, there's interpersonal drama, and there's time travel. This book has everything you want. If you're a fan of Stranger Things or The Goonies, check this out. If you're a fan of the way the children interact with each other in the movie It, this is something that you would be into. This is younger kids riding around their bikes with walkie-talkies, and they fall into a situation that is very much over their head. This is a fantastic series, and I couldn't recommend it more. Paper Girls number 30, very, very fitting end to this series. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 5 out of 5 perfect score. They nailed the landing on this perfectly, and I couldn't ask for anything more out of Paper Girls number 30. Pick it up, guys. I think you will enjoy it. Thanks for watching the video, folks. Make sure you click that like button, subscribe if you like the content, and click that notification bell, because the Comic Core has fresh content coming at you live every weeknight at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Starting on Mondays, we got Alec from White Whale Comics with Story Comic Core. He gathers a group together, and they're going to fantasy book your story arc or go over some classic trades. No matter what they do, it's a must-see TV. On Tuesday nights, stop by and check out the Golden Guys. JD Comics and his friends will put together a great show for you, sharing their knowledge of Golden Age collections and the books that they've picked up. Some really, really great nuggets of wisdom from these guys. On Wednesday, stop by for the B Show. The Blue Brand gives you the best on-the-rails new comic book day conversation that you could possibly ask for with Comic Core Unlimited. That's every Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern. On Thursdays, we take it outside the issues with entertainment from the world of movies and TV, all comic book related, but not the issues themselves. Be sure to stop by and chat it up about Swamp Thing or The Boys or whatever we're watching at that point in time, gang. Get on board and be a part of the crew. And Friday nights, we take it off the rails, the Comic Core A Show, the flagship of the network. We're going to go ahead and throw back a couple of cold ones and discuss all the nerd activity from the past week. We'll have some special guests. We'll share our hauls and our picks of the week. And we'll just mainly get silly and find out what Mark is eating. Stop by and check out Off the Rails on Friday nights. The Comic Core has something in store for everybody. Make sure you click that like button, that subscribe button, and that little notification bell to make sure you never miss when we're going live.